Hi guys, this is Lonnie again, and I'm doing this damn thing on suicide. As I said, I don't want to do it, but you have to talk about it. It has to be done. So I guess, like I say, this is part two. So if you're thinking about doing it, don't. At least listen to me for a little bit first. One of the things that I guess I'll start with, there's just so much to say, but one of the things is that I mentioned in the other video, part one, that suicide is it's the mind will run to it. It's a natural reaction of the human mind to think of it when the pain in their lives becomes more than they have the coping skills to deal with. And like I said, I believe that's true. But you know, there's another thing. I was doing some more reading on this, and people who commit suicide believe that they're out of options. They have the situation that they're in, and they believe they're out of options. The situation they're in for them is completely hopeless. All right, now let me give you an example. Let's say that you were going to lose your house. You were behind on your house payments, and the foreclosure was coming, and you knew by the end of next week that you're going to lose all your possessions. You're going to be on the street, and now obviously that's a dire situation. And you're going to lose your house. You don't have any family. The bank won't loan you any more money. Your credit cards are maxed out. And so it's gone. I mean, there it is. It's gone. And so you think about putting a gun in your mouth. Well, what if I told you that there was a government agency that helps people in your situation, and that there was a possibility that you could get some money? Would you hold off pulling the trigger and check on that? You see, you probably would. What's happened is in your mind, you've run out of options. And that's part of what goes on. You'll hear me say the enemy, the dragon, the disease, whatever you want. The way our minds work. We shut down. We get just laser beam focused on one thing. And we can't really make decisions about the rest of it. Now, another thing that I wanted to say, and this is another reason I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to anyway. I want to talk about if you were to be considering it now, unless God willing you're not. If you were, I just want to go over some of the feelings that you would be feeling right now at this moment. If you were sitting in front of the camera, you would be feeling totally, completely alone. You would feel like there's no one at all that you can talk to, or the couple of people that you might could talk to either are tired of hearing it, or just don't care, or you're just so down now that you don't even want to talk to them. Isolated. Nobody can possibly feel like this. Yeah, I mean, sure, other people have committed suicide, but they probably, they didn't understand my situation. Which is another thing that happens to us. We get only negative thoughts. And when you're laser beam focused on the problem, and I hate to do this, but it's the only way to illustrate it is with an illustration. There's words on this page. Now, read the word. Well, obviously, if you hold the book right up here in front of you, you can see. If you hold a book right directly in front of your face, you can see that there's words on the page, but you can't read them. They're too close. You're too focused on it. You're too close for you to read. In order to read them, you have to step back. You have to get that book back a little bit so your eyes can focus on it. And then the next thing you know, you can read the words. All right, but check this out. When you get a little further back, you get to where you can't really see the words again, but you can see the book. And then just a little further back, you'll notice that past the book, you can see the room. And then past the room, there's a door. And through the door lies what? The world, everything else. And And we just get so focused in. And there's really the only way to, and now, don't get me wrong too, there's another side of this. There's really severe mental issues, which we have severe mental issues, but there's other types of things, schizophrenia, and some of the other, there's just mental disorders that will do it, and there's not really much that can happen. The only thing basically at that point is that hopefully that someone that near you will see you and see that you're exhibiting signs of suicidal tendencies and get some professional help in. It's what we need anyway. We need that too, but see, we hide it so good, I mean, we live this thing, and we mask it. We don't want people to see, and so we cover up how we really feel. Never show any emotion. Never get too, if you're too high, don't show it. Never get real excited about anything too, you know that? Don't get too excited about it, because it probably ain't going to happen anyway. And that way you won't be so let down. Don't count on anything. Don't count on anybody. Everybody lets you down. Another thing is we try to avoid confrontation. Somebody says something to us, or somebody wrongs us in some way, and probably we should say something, but nah, we just won't. We'll just let this go. Bygones be bygones. And the problem is that if you have resentments, if that leads to resentment, and you have resentments, if you have unanswered issues, if you've got things going on that you're burying from your childhood, if you've got things going on that you're burying from work, the problem is you can bury these things, guys, but they're buried alive, and they will eat you up. They will eat you up, and that is just a fact. You have to let it out. The part of the enemy's tools, part of the dragon's tools is isolation, because if he can shut you off, if we shut ourselves off from everything and everybody else, then, well, again, we live in our minds. We live right inside of our heads. So every avenue of release that we isolate ourselves from, every person that we cut off, every organization that we don't contact, we just shut them down. We shut off this option. We shut off this option, this option. We just shut ourselves down, so that now there's only nobody in here but me and him. And he can tell me anything he wants to. And with the situation around me, as bad as it is, and he starts whispering little things in my ear, then I begin to believe it, because obviously it's true. When this happens and this happens and this happens, and then the end, it's obviously true that whatever, I must be a bad person. I really, truly must not deserve certain things, or, but you get focused on it. And then the next thing you know, you're where you are now. You get where you are now. And the main avenue, everything has got its opposite. And by the way, opposites don't attract. But everything's got its opposite. Our lives are chaos. So one of the steps we have to take to get better is, the opposite of chaos is order. We've got to order ourselves. We've got to get order in our lives. The opposite of isolation is talking to people. And that is one of the things, man. I can't stress that enough. If you're feeling bad, you're feeling down. And the thing is, before you get to feeling down, before you get that far, talk to people now. Look around. Look at AA, NA. There's groups in your area. I just don't know how many groups like AA they are for mental deals. But find somebody that you can talk to. Find somebody that you can express yourself to. And here again, I hate to, I guess this is running a touch long, but, I don't know, I do not know how much good, I'm going to mention it every time, so just get used to it. But, I've set this form up, and I know it's crappy right now. I just got it set up. But I'm hoping with some input, that way, I can get it up to where it'll be something that maybe, just maybe, man, we can go in there and do something with. I don't know. Maybe not. you know. Maybe it wouldn't help anything, but I was inspired to do it, so I did it. Talk to somebody, find somebody to talk to. These feelings are temporary, and it's not the end of the road. You're not out of options. You have options. You just can't see them. You've been cut off from them. You cut yourself off from them. There are other options. So, yeah, you know, this will probably end up being a three-parter because it's such a serious subject matter. But with that being said, I'm just going to cut her short here, or not cut her short, it's run long, but nevertheless, guys, you know, hang in and have a nice day.